Netpugi.
Disclaimer. Please note that the graphics shown here represent my own creative take on the standard lab safety symbols and are not meant to be used in the laboratory. Lab safety symbols. We know laboratories are spaces for scientific research, experiments, and discoveries. Yet, these are high-risk sites which expose members to various illness-causing hazards, injuries, and threats. One of the simplest and incredibly effective ways to ensure our overall safety is through lab safety symbols. Lab safety symbols are images or visual representations of safety equipment used in scientific laboratories. They also convey significant safety information and warnings in research facilities. These safety symbols are designed to be universally understood with no confusion and misinterpretation, by breaking language barriers across the globe, so that everyone involved in scientific studies, research, and industries can identify potential hazards, handle risks, take the necessary precautions, and ensure their safety in the workplace. Now here, let me go over some of the important lab safety symbols that we need to know for our safety in any science lab or in similar environments. Physical safety symbols. 1. Glove symbol. This safety symbol helps us identify hand protection required for handling hazardous materials and choose appropriate glove for the hazard present, such as chemical-resistant gloves, heat-resistant gloves, and etc. For example, thermal safety symbol is shown here. This symbol appears as a caution for handling hot objects. 2. Boots safety symbol. This safety symbol appears as a reminder to use specialized laboratory footwear for certain labs to avoid possible exposure to corrosive chemicals or large quantities of solvents that might penetrate normal footwear. In a lab, dropping a beaker of acid will soon destroy an ordinary pair of shoes. 3. Clothing protection safety symbol. This clothing safety symbol indicates the dire need for a lab coat or other protective clothings. There are several types of protective clothing. For example, protective clothing made of cotton is the most preferred one against burning, as many synthetic fabrics can adhere to skin when burning. Wool clothing protects against stain due to splashes of molten materials and acid and small flames. Synthetic fiber clothing protect against sparks and electromagnetic radiation. Metallic reflective clothings protect against thermal radiation. 4. Breathing mask safety symbol. These symbols let us know that we're working in an area with potentially contaminated air. There are different styles of breathing mask, namely, half mask respirators, full face respirators, and hood or helmet style respirators to prevent contaminated air from entering the body. 5. Face shield symbol. This safety symbol warns us to use large face shield, similar to the glass shield on a motorcycle helmet, for protection against human pathogens, explosion hazards, and heavy splashing of dangerous liquids such as acids, bases, and many organic liquids. It also provides us with an extra protection against extreme temperatures. 6. Eye safety or eyeglass symbol. This safety symbol appears when there is a danger to our eyes due to chemical, environmental, radiological, or mechanical irritants and hazards in the laboratory. We must wear safety goggle or right eye shields when this symbol appears at a site. The most popular lens material for lab safety eyewear is polycarbonate, as this material is weightless, comfortable, and a better resistant to acids, caustics, and hydrocarbons. 7. Hearing protection symbol. The ear protection safety symbol indicates that lab workers are in a site where noise level is fairly louder to cause damages to their auditory nervous systems. 8. Eye wash station symbol. The eye wash safety sign indicates the location of an eye wash station. It provides a continuous, low-pressure stream of aerated water in laboratories in which chemical or biological agents are used or stored. The eye wash station should be located near the safety shower so that, if necessary, the eyes can be washed while the body is showered. 9. Safety shower symbol. This sign should be prominently displayed close to the shower. If chemicals get splashed in your eyes or skin, begin to rinse with running water from the safety shower or eye wash station for at least 20 minutes. Notify your teacher or lab manager immediately. 10. Hand washing symbol. Hand washing is a primary safeguard against inadvertent exposure to toxic chemicals or biological agents. Wash with soap and running water, with hands held downward to flush the contamination off the hands. 11. Food and drink prohibited symbol. A no food and drink safety sign lets lab personnel know that eating and or drinking where hazardous materials are used, handled, or stored is not permitted, as such activity can result in the accidental ingestion of hazardous materials. Refrigerators used for storage of research materials must not be used for storage of food or beverages. 12. No pacemakers or metallic implants symbol. This safety sign warns us of a strong magnetic field hazard due to superconducting magnets such as nuclear magnetic resonance spectrometers (NMR). Staff with pacemakers or metallic implants cannot work in such areas of the lab, and other staff should take care to remove metal objects such as jewelry, watches, loose change, etc., before entering these areas in order to prevent injuries. Fire safety symbols. 13. Fire extinguisher safety sign. This safety sign indicates the exact location of a lab's fire extinguisher. Fires can happen anywhere, but lab fires can be even more dangerous due to Bunsen burners, flammable liquids, electric and electronic lab equipment in a lab. So, it's important that everyone in a lab must know how to use correct fire extinguisher as required. 14. Fire blanket sign. This sign indicates the exact location of fire blanket in the lab. If someone catches fire, he or she should get on the ground and start rolling to extinguish the flames using the fire blanket. 15. Fire hose safety sign. This sign, pictured as a fire hose reel in white on red background, informs us of the exact location of hose connections in lab. A fire hose reel is only to be used in case of fire. 16. No open flame symbol. Burners, lighters, matches, and any other flame-producing devices are considered as open flame devices. Most organic chemicals are flammable. This sign indicates the risk and prohibition of open flame devices where the use of an open flame could cause a fire or an explosion. First aid symbols. 17. First aid station symbol. This symbol indicates the availability of a first aid kit. This kit should contain the items recommended in the first aid kit policy and guidelines for laboratories. 18. AED or defibrillator safety sign. This sign helps us find the exact location of the portable laboratory's automated external defibrillator (AED). Doing CPR in conjunction with using the AED can improve chances of survival for someone experiencing sudden cardiac arrest in the lab. 19. Emergency meeting point symbol. This sign marks a safer place, either inside or outside the building, where laboratory employees should meet in the event of an actual emergency, such as chemical spill, fire, etc., or emergency drill. Hazard symbols. 20. General warning symbol. It is a general warning to laboratory staff that a hazard exists. This symbol can be found on equipment, doorways, cupboards, or other areas of the lab. It provides a good reminder to work safely and check if you are not sure of the safety procedures for certain equipment or areas in the lab. 21. Health hazard symbol. This sign denotes chemicals in the lab that can cause serious and often long-term health problems. Ignoring or ignorance of the harmful effects of laboratory materials can have even fatal consequences. 22. Biological hazard or biohazard safety symbol. This sign appears where there is danger due to bacteria, fungi, or protists, blood samples, infectious agents, etc. Regular cleaning and decontamination of areas and equipment that are exposed to biohazards is also a must. 23. Harmful irritant symbol. Substances labeled with the irritant symbol are not corrosive, but they can cause discomfort, reddening, irritation, or blistering of the skin. Laboratory workers should handle irritants carefully. Examples of irritant substances include ammonia, chloroform, and chlorine. 24. Poison, toxic material symbol. This symbol is visibly seen wherever poisonous substances are present or used. Such substances may harm an individual if they enter the body. 25. Corrosive material hazard symbol. This safety sign indicates corrosive substances in the lab that can eat away our skin if we come into direct contact with them. All employees who handle corrosive substances should be properly trained and wear gloves, protective clothing, and face protection. 26. Carcinogen hazard sign. This sign in a laboratory indicates the use of known human carcinogens, such as formaldehyde, methylene chloride, and benzene. When handling carcinogens, appropriate personal protective equipment such as fume hoods, glove boxes, and HEPA filters should be used. 27. Explosive hazard symbol. This sign appears on chemicals that have explosive properties. Misuse of such chemicals could cause an explosion. 28. High voltage safety symbol. This symbol includes a lightning bolt arrow and a yellow triangle, warns of voltage high enough to cause serious injury or even death. If you do need to work close to such hazards, protective clothing and rubber gloves should be worn. 29. Electrical hazard safety symbol. This sign typically includes a frayed wire and a hand with a lightning bolt across it, indicates any electrical hazards in the lab. Such hazards can cause anything from a mild tingling to death. If an electrical hazard is suspected, the device in question should be disconnected immediately and the cause must be determined by a qualified technician. 30. Laser beam hazard safety symbol. The laser beam hazard sign in the laboratory lets staff know that hazards from laser beams are present. Both the eyes and skin can be damaged from direct exposure to laser beams. And hence, proper eye protection and non-flammable clothing should always be worn at all times in these areas of the lab where the laser is being operated. 31. UV light hazard symbol. This hazard symbol will appear near ultraviolet, UV, light areas to warn personnel of the potential dangers. UV light is a type of electromagnetic radiation with a wavelength shorter than those of visible light, but longer than those of X-rays. Health effects due to acute exposure to UV light include from skin, redness to skin, cancer. 32. Glassware hazard symbol. This broken glassware symbol may be placed on a container designated for the disposal of broken glass in the lab. Wherever possible, laboratories should use plasticware instead of glassware to avoid both physical and health hazards. Laboratory workers should use appropriate gloves to handle broken glass or use forceps, tongs, or a dustpan and brush to clean up pieces of broken glass. 33. Hot surface safety symbol. This safety sign warns laboratory employees of burn hazards from hot surfaces. Lab workers must wear the correct PPE, such as heat-resistant gloves, lab coats, eye protection, and closed-toed shoes to handle with hot surfaces. 34. Low temperature warning symbol. This symbol warns staff of low temperature or cryogenic hazards in the lab. Such temperatures are usually much lower than freezing point, where chemicals such as liquid nitrogen are stored. Lab workers must wear appropriate PPE such as suitable gloves, long pants, closed-toe shoes or boots, a rubber apron, and face shield for working with cryogenic or low-temperature hazards. Radiation hazard symbols. 35. Ionizing radiation hazard symbol. This safety sign indicates the presence of ionizing radiation due to radioactive isotopes, X-ray apparatus, medical beam cannons, and particle accelerators. Labs must limit entry of radionuclides into the human body to quantities as low as reasonably achievable. 36. Non-ionizing radiation hazard sign. This sign warns staff of sources of non-ionizing radiation in the lab. Such radiation has a lower frequency and longer wavelength than ionizing radiation. Lasers, fluorescent lamps, and some photosensitive chemicals are examples of non-ionizing radiation hazards in the lab. Biological safety cabinets, PPE, and engineering controls are some of the measures used to minimize exposure to such hazards. 37. Optical radiation hazard symbol. Optics is another term for light. The optical radiation hazard safety signs warns of equipment that produces ultraviolet, UV, radiation, visible light, and infrared radiation, high-powered laser radiations, etc. When working with such hazards, proper eyewear should always be worn. For lasers in particular, proper stops should be in place. 38. IAEA ionizing radiation hazard symbol. The International Atomic Energy Agency's IAEA ionizing radiation hazard symbol supplements the regular trefoil symbol for radiation. It includes radiating waves, a skull and crossbones, and a running person to warn of large sources of ionizing radiation. The symbol is made for general public awareness to tell them that the trefoil indicates radiation hazards and is placed on sources of radiation that can cause death or serious injury. Typically it is placed on the radiation source to warn people not to take the device apart or get any closer to it. Other symbols. 39. Disposal alert symbol. This safety symbol alerts us use proper care to dispose materials safely. 40. Sharp object safety. This safety symbol signals a danger due to cuts or punctures caused by the use of sharp objects. Carry glass tubing, glassware, or sharp objects in a vertical position. Never bend a sharp object. If the object is reusable, put it in a secure, closed container after you use it. Use instruments rather than fingers to grasp needles, blades, etc. Give verbal announcements when there is a need to pass sharps. Use a neutral zone, tray or surface to avoid hand-to-hand passing. 41. Fume safety symbol. This symbol appears when chemicals or chemical reactions could cause dangerous fumes. A fume hood is the main piece of laboratory equipment that protects lab members from inhaling chemical gases, vapors, and aerosols of the dangerous chemical fumes. 42. Flammable and combustible safety symbol or fire safety symbol. This sign signifies substances that will ignite and continue to burn in air. Lab workers should always keep flammable materials away from open flames, heat, sparks, and ignition sources. 43. Oxidizing agent safety symbol. The symbol indicates the presence of oxidizing materials, namely, bromine, chlorates, nitrates, perchloric acid, and peroxides in a lab site. Such materials can support a fire even in the absence of air as they readily give off oxygen. They may also intensify fires to cause explosions and be toxic or corrosive. 44. Compressed gas safety symbol. This safety sign warns us of the presences of compressed gases in laboratories. The high pressure within a cylinder makes compressed gases hazardous, as gas can flow rapidly from the cylinder and cause injury, fires, or explosions. 45. Flammable gas safety symbol. This symbol represents compressed flammable gases, such as ethyl chloride, aerosols, and liquefied petroleum gas commonly used in lab. They are extremely dangerous to work with and be around as they will burn or explode if mixed with air, oxygen, or other, in the presence of a source of ignition. 46. Non-flammable gas safety symbol. The symbol signifies the presences of non-flammable gases, which include air, carbon dioxide, freon, helium, and nitrogen. Although they are not a fire hazard, yet non-flammable gases displace oxygen and cause asphyxiation or death. 47. Strong magnetic field safety symbol. This safety sign alerts lab members to the dangers due to strong magnetic fields generated by certain pieces of laboratory equipment. The risks are especially imminent for people wearing pacemakers and implants, which will tend to align themselves with the magnetic field lines. 48. Recycling safety symbol. This recycling symbol is formed of 3 arrows that point in a never-ending loop. The recycling sign is posted in labs to indicate where recyclable items are gathered and sorted. Such items can include any plastic that is not characterized as a biohazard or radioactive hazard. 49. Animal safety symbol. This symbol appears whenever live animals are studied. The safety of both animals and lab occupants must be ensured. All living and preserved organisms should be handled in a humane manner. 50. Plant safety. This symbol appears when poisonous plants or plants with thorns are handled. 51. Dangerous to the environment symbol. This symbol is most often used to label chemicals that are toxic to aquatic wildlife and environment. Lab workers should dispose of environmentally hazardous materials properly by ensuring that they do not get washed down the drain. In short, safety is life, and lack of safety or carelessness is the cause for accident or fatal consequence. So, ask your teacher or lab manager to explain any lab safety guidelines or rules if you are unsure of them. Have a safer and exciting science lab experience, and have a great school year. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Goodbye.